We're live now. Good morning, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, CFR, and his team. Good morning, Chairman, Presidential Communications Team. Under Malam Garba Shehu today. Distinguished colleagues, today we have another briefing session which we normally host every Thursday on topical issues affecting governance in Nigeria. One of the key areas that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari put emphasis to tackle is the security. And lately, we cannot say that we have not recorded some achievements which have led to a relative calm in the country. The Nigerian police, in synergy with other security agencies, has contributed greatly to the calm being experienced now in Nigeria. In the same vein, the recent approval that was given by the President Muhammadu Buhari in March 2022 for the framework for the implementation of a holistic police reform program has yielded positive results, especially with improvement in the remuneration of police officers. The purpose of this briefing is to highlight some of the strides that have been made by the police under the leadership of the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, towards ensuring the internal security of the nation, ensuring that the internal security of the nation is maintained. Furthermore, the IGP will provide such updates that is much needed on ongoing reforms in the Nigerian police. As usual, the IGP will come here to speak with us for about 20 minutes, after which he will take questions from our stakeholders here and those watching us online. On this note, I would like to invite the IGP to please come to this podium and speak with us.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Senior Special Assistant to Mr. President on Media, the AIG, who is also, retired AIG, who is also part of us, but at the same time, with the State House, with the Chief of Staff as one of the advisors, other members of the Senate, other members of the high table, including my officers from Force Headquarters, AIG Twinji, who is AIG in charge of Special Protection Unit, the AIG in charge of Federal Investigation Bureau, Abu Sani, the Post PRO, gentlemen of the press, good morning. I'm here to brief the State House media on issues which I tagged it to be winning the fight against insecurity, status of internal security, and update on police reforms in Nigeria. I will quickly go through my presentation, and it will also be backed by some slides, and therefore the presentation will be just a PowerPoint presentation, an abridged version of the entire thing. Starting with the background, upon inception of office, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Muhammadu Buhari, identified 3 key policing thrusts of his administration: Security is one of these three focus areas of the current administration, and it goes without gainsaying that significant and salient inputs have been made into the security sector with corresponding significant and positive impacts. The President, understanding the paramount role of the police in internal security management, has approved the police reform agenda, which is being vigorously pursued to cement the role of the police as the lead agency in the internal security sector. The general security situation. The security situation in the country has been reasonably stable in spite of the activities of unpatriotic elements and non-state actors who engage in various criminal activities around the country. However, the Nigeria police is actively collating intelligence and effectively subduing elements responsible for security threats within the country. These, alongside tactical and strategic deployments of operatives, particularly in light of recent threat alarms, has helped to proactively police the 36 states and the FCT and reduce the occurrence of crime to a bare minimum. Permit me to state without mentioning words that despite false security alerts and advisories from some quarters, there is no imminent threat in the FCT and other parts of the country based on the reports we received from intelligence quarters within our operation and from the intelligence agencies. The police is effectively achieving its mandate to protect lives and property of all individuals within Nigeria, and has deployed operational intelligence and ICT-based apparatuses to tackle and stem the tide of crimes and criminality. This is particularly to aid quick reportage of suspicious persons and incidents and other emergencies for police prompt response. The MPF Rescue Me mobile application for emergency response at the top of the button is there. This app is available on both Android and iOS. The Force Intelligence Bureau and its tactical teams gather, process, and act on intelligence to nip incidences in the boat and the curb and disseminate criminal elements across the country with remarkable achievements. The MPF proactive responses. The Nigerian Police Crime and the Incident Database Center to handle the registration of available items, thereby making it easier to find them if they get lost. It equally provides a platform to confirm an item's ownership before purchasing them. The Interpol Cybercrime Reportage Platform in INCB, npf.gov.nigeria is available 24/7 for the reportage of cybercrime-related complaints. This includes all offenses provided for by the Cybercrime Act of 2015, including the production and distribution of child pornography. MPF proactive measures still continues, with the Nigeria Police has engaged in vigorous deployment of operational assets, including an armed aerial surveillance, armored personnel carriers, etc., as well as operational personnel from the PMF, that's Police Mobile Unit, the CTU, that's the Police Counterterrorism Unit, and the EOD, that's the Bomb Disposal Unit, for special operations such as Operation Restore Peace, Operation Sahara Storm, and all-around operations that are also carried either in collaboration with the military or single-handedly by the police. The Police Air Wing has similarly been mandated to conduct regular aerial surveillance patrols, particularly in areas affected by activities of violent crimes or criminals. These are some of the activities of the police tactical units that are shown on the screen. Achievements in insecurity. The above deployment have helped in strengthening the operational and intelligence base of the Nigeria Police. It has led to the dissemination of violent criminal gangs, the blockage of arms trafficking routes, and the improved discipline within the force, which has built an inviolable level of trust with the public. Some of the achievements recorded are here under tabulated, as shown in the screen. Next slide. The MPF has also employed and achieved improved synergy with the military and other security agencies to combat crimes and criminality within the country. I hereby want to emphasize the synergy between the safety agencies, the security agencies, the Nigeria police, and the military in trying to do things collectively, and thereby ensuring that everybody contributes what he knows best in areas of crime prevention and control, and that of safety agency reforms. Presidential Police Reform Agenda. The President has shown an unwavering commitment to the reform of the Nigeria Police Force to attain its mandate through a reform, re-equipment, reorientation, and modernization of the Nigeria Police Force. Mr. President has ensured a well-thought-out, highly coordinated, and sustainable police reform initiative by approving a 5-year roadmap for the police reform initiative in March 2022. The multi-sectoral presidential police reform team has been established in the Office of the Chief of Staff to Mr. President. The team was inaugurated on the 26th of October 2022. All members of the high table, maybe except Mr. Gerbashev, are members of that committee. The impact of reforms or the impact of the reform agenda. The Presidential Committee on Police Reforms has effectively laid the foundation for a reformed Nigeria Police Force. Building blocks for a fully reformed police is already being laid, and this is evident in the current outlook of the Nigeria Police Force. In a short space of time, the Nigeria Police Force has been greatly improved upon in all areas, and this will form the core of the next few slides. Legislation. Starting with legislation. The President's police reform agenda has been of great benefit to the Nigeria Police Force, as 3 very vital bills have received presidential assent since the commencement of the reform train. These are the Nigeria Police Trust Fund Establishment Act 2019, then the Police Act 2020, and the Nigeria Police Academy Establishment Act 2022. Manpower Development Policy. The MPF has embarked on a deliberate policy to ensure maximal development of the force manpower. This is evidenced by the recruitment, training, and passing out of effective manpower at both constable cadre and from the police colleges and police training institutions or police training schools, and cadets from the Nigeria Police Academy, in consonance with the FG's reform agenda. Another set of 10,000 recruits are currently undergoing training at various police colleges and police training schools across the country. The President has also graciously approved and consistently provided funds for the annual recruitment, feeding, and kitting of the 10,000 recruit constables. Training. In line with my mandate to ensure a continuous training and retraining of personnel, several professional development trainings have been held in the past 10 months with the support of the Nigeria Police Trust Fund, foreign agencies and governments, and the funding of other courses from the lean resources of the force under my watch. These trainings include the Advanced Detective Course, which we call ADC, the Strategic Leadership and Command Course, and the Tactical Leadership and Command Course. These and other specialized training for specialized units. Our specialized units are, we have the bomb disposal units, which we call the EOD. We have the counterterrorism unit. We have the newly created, from the Police Air Wing Department, the newly created what do you call it? Sorry. Can you help me? Unmanned aerial vehicles. Sorry. So these are some of the specialized things, units that they have to undergo training. In preparation for the 2023 general elections, training workshops have been held for all officers, including the recently concluded conference and retreat for senior police officers in Ore, Imo State, which had the president and other stakeholders in attendance, and training are continuous until the successful conduct of the 2023 general election. The Police Reform Transformation Office has also organized several trainings for officers, including public relations practitioners of the force, on communicating the reform agenda to the internal and external publics of the force. In partnership with the German government, an upgrade of the Central Planning and Training Unit in Jos has commenced. Similarly, the Police Public Relations School is set to begin training on improved human relations for officers and men in order to boost robust human relations between the public and the police, and within the police family as well. Welfare and infrastructure. The reform agenda has also helped my administration embark on massive construction of vital structures for the Nigeria Police Force, as well as renovation and remodeling of existing ones. These are some of the examples. A total of 119 projects have so far been completed. They include model police stations and barracks and block of flats, hospitals and medical facilities, NPF Resource Center in Jabi, which is under construction, the MP Public Relations School in Abuja, which has just been completed, and the upgrading of the Nigeria Police Force hangar and air fleet at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. Similarly, existing structures, barracks, training colleges and schools, etc., have been remodeled in line with contemporary standards to create conducive environment of learning for trainees across board in the MPF. Issue of welfare continues. Digitalization of the MPF legal department records, which we have just completed. Successful commencement of the FG-approved newly salary structure for the MPF. Tax exemption for junior ranking policemen and the increased shift tariffs for all officers and men in the police. Insurance of uniforms, accoutrements, and kits for officers and men, as well as body armor, anti-riot, and personal protective equipment to ensure protection while on duty. Design, production, and insurance of digitalized warrant cards with unique chips for all officers and men to eliminate issues of impersonation or reduce it to its barest minimum. Acquisition and the upgrade of paraphernalia, which I don't want to put figures, but I want to assure you that the police has acquired all these things and it is in our custody to aid our operations. Next slide. For security reasons, I may wish to beg that these figures or data are meant for your consumption, please. Discipline. Attention has been placed on the need for professionalism and adherence to extant laws by police officers in the discharge of their lawful duties in line with the police reform agenda. This has prompted the need to look into the various complaints against police action via social media and meting out of sanctions on violators of law regulating the actions of police officers among our ranks. the response of the force. MPF focused on strengthening police citizen complaints mechanism to uphold discipline and prevent the resort to self-help by aggrieved citizens using the twin policy of reward and punishment. The units responsible for handling citizens' complaints are as follows: the Provost Department, the Public Complaint Response Unit, the Public Complaints Bureau, monitoring and maintaining units of the police, and also our own escort, that's policing the police. These units receive complaints physically and virtually, investigate and sanction incorrigible officers, whose unprofessional conducts negate MPF policing values and negatively impact the drive to smoothen partnership with citizens. Statistics of complaints received are shown here on the screen by all these different departments. For instance, the Provost Marshal registered a total of 68 complaints from January to date, and it was able to resolve 57. And the total number of officers awarded punishment in these are 5, and the highest punishment of dismissal was also meted out on 5. The IG Monitoring and Maintaining Unit received 82 complaints. These are normally complaints that does not border on only discipline. It may be complaints bordering on issues like bribery and corruption, fraud-related matters, and complaint of criminal nature as it affects our serving officers. Let's say assault on somebody and so forth. The Complaint Response Unit has also, this is highest because it is normally online. These complaints are received online. It has received about 732 cases. Number of complaints resolved 559, pending 144, false and unrelated 29. So this is how the complaints goes from the different sections. Let's move to the next slide. This is the last slide, and this is the highest punishment we made on our personnel for various offenses. In some instances, the dismissal may also even accompany by arraignment in court if the offense is, we look at the disciplinary aspect of it, and then we charge the person to court for crime, if it is criminal case. For instance, an officer involved in a case of, let's say, extortion, or in a case of armed robbery, or in a case of unlawful use of power, including using your arms in the most unpermitted way and so forth. This last punishment of dismissal is meted, and the person is also constantly charged to court to face his criminal case. Election and security management. The Nigerian Police Force is dedicated to ensuring the conduct of elections. The Nigerian Police Force is dedicated to ensuring the conduct of elections are free, fair, credible, and that election security is in tandem with international best practices. This has been evidenced by the security management at the off-season gubernatorial elections in Edo, Anambra, Ekiti, and Osun. The MPF recently concluded a 1-month train-the-trainer course on election security management for officers and men of the Nigeria Police Force to improve on what we have gathered as maybe further improvement from our off-season elections. Just last week at Imo, the top echelon of the force met for the conference and retreat for senior police officers on election security management ahead of the 2023 general elections. The conference had in attendance, again, Mr. President, the Minister of Police Affairs, other governors who played, the governor of Imo State who played host, and many other stakeholders in the election management were present. were present. Community policing. The recent police-related legislations assented to by Mr. President, as well as the adoption of community policing model as the internal security strategy of the country, have combined to change the policing narrative in the country in the most unprecedented manner. It has set the tone for a citizen-led and community-driven policing system that is responsive and focused on bridging these skirmishes between the police and the people. A safe and secured nation. It is obvious that the task ahead of us is enormous. With the little interim and silent steps we have taken so far, undoubtedly, we shall prevail and bestow to Nigerians invaluable policing services. We are unrelenting. We continually put our best foot forward to ensure we get it right with regards to disseminating the security challenges in and around the country and ensuring professionalism and respect for fundamental human rights by our officers and men. Ultimately, a safe and secured nation is the goal, and we are closer to achieving it now than when we first began. In conclusion, the Nigeria Police Force under my command and leadership is dedicated to reducing incidences of crime and criminality to the barest tolerable level, with immense support from His Excellency, Mr. President, and other well-meaning top government functionaries and Nigerians. The force is similarly actively engaged in cleansing the system of officers and men who are unamenable to discipline in order to reduce the trust deficit between the police and the public. It is firmly believed that along this path we have been chosen to tread, a safer and saner nation can be achieved. Thank you for your listening. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, IGP, for that apt presentation. We will now go to question and answers. Adesua, Railat, Juliana, Yemi, for the first set of 4 questions that we'll take.
Thank you. Good morning, IGP, sir. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the work you and your men do to keep us largely safe. I'm glad you mentioned elections. Sir, can you realistically promise Nigerians safe elections? I ask because we're already seeing campaigns marred by violence from Rivers State to Kaduna State, and yesterday, Borno State. Also, in a related development, civil society organizations say they have written to you, they are pleading to you to look into the actions of some governors in the Southeast who are using local security outfits, such as the Ebubeagu, to oppress opposition and stifle opposition there, especially Ebonyi State. They say Ebubeagu has been used to stifle opposition there. Are you aware, and what are you doing about it? Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Raliata Denekon from Classic FM and The Beat. My question has to do with regards to the increased kidnapping cases on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. What is the police force doing about this? Then secondly, the former IGP actually brought up the idea of withdrawing security personnel from VIPs. Are you still going to consider this, looking at the shortage of security personnel in critical areas and having these people carrying bags for people, for their VIPs? What do you do about, what are you saying about this? Thank you.
Good morning, sir. My name is Juliana Taiwo Balonya of the Sun newspapers. 94 Chibok girls are still in captivity. Leah Sharibu is also there 6 years after. 29 students of FGC Birnin Yari are yet to be freed. Students of Bethel School still in captivity, and the young children that were abducted recently, this year. Only yesterday we heard their doctors are asking for 40 million to release them. Those children are from 4 years and above. My question is, any hope that these children will reunite with their families soon? Thank you.
Hi, sir. Good morning, sir. My name is Yemi Adebayo from AIT. I'm glad that you talk about the issue of police reform, but one issue I'm concerned about that I think has failed to go away in the force is the issue of corruption and bribery in the police force. I don't know. We've had different Inspector General of Police try to rid the system of corruption and bribery, but yet it still persists. I want to find out from you, what strategy are you deploying in addressing this issue? Because you find out that even in Abuja, which is the nation's capital, once it's around 10 o'clock in the evening or 11 o'clock, you see officers mount roadblocks in some strategic areas, and when they stop you, the next thing they ask from you is, how markets? So, you know, this happened to me last week, and I'm wondering what sort of reform is going on in the police force. I don't know what you're doing in this regard. Thank you very much.
Okay. Let me start with the first question from Adesua. The issue of violence in our political agenda, either it be in rallies or campaigns. Well, it takes two to tango. There are laid down means and ways, procedures to do rallies and campaign. On our part, we have gone out to appeal to politicians to play the game by the rules, and at the same time allow us to regulate political processions, campaigns, and rallies to avoid clashes and so forth. The issue of these three things you have mentioned, which was the civil society organization has spoken about, involvement of security outfits. I think I have even made announcements and announcements earlier than even their letter. On the day on the signing day of the peace accord, I've also reiterated and observed that we have not less than 64 security outfits that are created by state governors in different names for different purposes. But mostly the crime prevention and space is so wide that we are encouraging everybody to come in, and that is why we said policing is something that requires the contribution of everybody. So while these outfits have been created to checkmate crime and criminality, we have also told them that they are not to be used for politicking or to be used for political reasons. You made mention of some of the particular, I think it was Ebon you specifically mentioned. Ibobagu, we have in many occasions checkmate their high-handedness by arresting and investigating those who have actually gone out of their way to commit crime, and we have charged them to court. There is no way we can allow, if we can charge our personnel for high-handedness and other activities, there is nobody who is going to be exempted. If there is any specific case that the police has not gone into, in the case of those kind of outfits, you may mention. But to the best of our knowledge, you cannot avoid theory and practice might differ. You may tell them this is your responsibility, this is how it's supposed to be done, but still, either because of primordial loyalty or because of inducement or because of whatever, some people go out of their way to do the wrong thing, and if they will be charged. And that's why most of the time, if these outfits are created by governors, we are invited to educate them on the extent of their engagement in crime prevention and control. We are checkmating them. They are also good, they are bad, and they are ugly. They have their good side, so that is why they needed to be regulated and they needed to be checkmated, and we are doing that. Raleigh increased kidnapping case in Ibadan Lagos Expressway. Yes, we are in know of what is happening there, and most of the cases, if they are not prevented, they are detected. We have just, beginning of this week, decided to increase our presence on the road. And because of a lot of construction work that is going on, there are diversions, there are blockages and so forth, but our presence has been increased and we hope that will mitigate the crime further. Then the issue of security personnel being attached to BIPs to be withdrawn. For every rule, there are exceptions. These are people who needed to be protected, but we try to do it with all sense of humility that BIPs needed to be protected, because some people are really, if left unattended to, they can be easy targets, and it can make too much noise. So we are not withdrawing personnel, or I am not with the view of completely withdrawing security aids from BIPs. But that we will manage what we have and also checkmate crime and criminality without actually leaving them bare. Then thirdly, I think Juliana talked about Chibok girls, Dapshik, the young children, the Yauri, and all that. And Yauri and all that. You see, the issue of kidnapping is an issue that borders almost all the security agents, including the military. It is a crime that once it is committed, you have to treat it very softly and with all sense of professionalism. If you do not rescue the person safe and hurt, you have almost done anything. And once somebody is in the captivity of an armed person, then you need to do a lot of things. It is not all about guns and other things. There are a lot of other things that can be done. We were able to rescue the whole of forestry students in Kaduna through negotiation. We were able to rescue many others, which I can give you example. For those that we are in contact with, there are things that we are doing. It is a new crime, and new ways of approaching it and new ways of dousing it are really under study. For instance, the issue of trained negotiators and so forth are not an issue before, but now we are looking into it and we are putting our personnel to undergo such training and courses. We will not say hope is lost. We are still on it. The issue of Chibok girls, you know, they are coming out one after another and gradually. And sometimes they come out and say, yes, we have come to see our parents and we want to go back. So maybe they have been assimilated or acclimatized with what the situation and being indoctrinated and had become part and parcel of those who have abducted them and so forth. But like I'm saying, it is a continuous effort, and even last month, you saw a Chibok girl coming out with 2 or 3 kids and say she only come to greet her parents and she wants to go back thereafter. So we are still on it. There is hope. The last one, Yomi, corruption relating to police reforms. Well, I think police is being closely looked at because it is the closest maybe and most widespread organization that can be easily seen in contact with the rich, the poor, and whatever. But I think generally we are doing our best, and the society should also help us. Thank you.
We'll take the second set of questions. I'll start from the front. Timothy, Kode, Antonio Elemen, Harry. With your permission, Chairman, sir, can I add one more? Gloria. We'll have this set for now, and then we'll have some online questions that we'll take after this particular set. So we'll start with Timothy.
Ajisa, my name is Timothy Choji. I report for Voice of Nigeria. I would like to know what you're doing to eliminate cases of assault within the police force, especially against women police. Thank you.
Good morning, IG. My name is Umar Aliu. I report for Code Radio International. My question is, what are you doing to encourage the general public to assist the police with intelligence, sir? Because there is frosty relationship between police and the general public, some general public, most especially. Generally, what are you doing to encourage citizens to come forward with intelligence to assist police in fighting crime, sir? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. My name is Tony Element, sir. I write for Business Day. So my question has to do with your men who are threatening to boycott the election in 2023 over unpaid salaries, so the new salary increase. There was a report that this policy was approved in January and you started implementing it in July. And it is creating some kind of heated activities in the system. How much do you really require to settle these areas, and what are you doing to tackle it? Because the 2023 election has become an issue that is a global focus on Nigeria. And I also want you to please look again at the answer you gave to the question that has to do with attacks on campaigns. Because if it is not nibly debate, sir. We are just moving into campaigns. We have had it in 3 places right now. How are we going to ensure that it does not snowball into major crisis, sir? Thank you.
Good morning, all. IGP, sir. I think my question is going to border on, my name is Harry Awurumibe. I write for Prompt News Online. Yeah, my question is going to border on the powers of Nigeria Police Force as enshrined in the Electoral Act of 2022. Even you also derive the powers from the 1999 Constitution as authored. And Section 91 from Section 1 to 4 of the Electoral Act 2022 as amended have provided for the police force acting in pre-election activities to be in charge of security, of rallies, campaigns, and all sorts. And it has also gone ahead to give you powers to enlist the support of other security agencies. Sir, with what is currently happening at campaign grounds, and just last night I saw the police public relation officer in Brno saying that it is not true that PDP campaign rally was attacked. What have you heard from that end? And if you are overwhelmed, have you tried to enlist other security agencies? Because it's spiraling out of hand. And if it starts like this, just yesterday, I've not slept. I monitored the American midterm election. Even in a state where the former president, Trump, lived, in Florida, he did not support the governor. The governor was campaigning during their last time, and he was campaigning, and nobody attacked each other. And today, the governor has won. If you are overwhelmed, what are you doing towards that? Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Gloria Omezoke from Channels TV. So there's a portal the police has created, the Police Specialized Automation Services, POSAB. I'm not sure how much of it I heard during this briefing, but already that portal is creating sort of, it gives a sense of the fact that the police just might be commercialized. Because from that portal, we hear that this service is for politically exposed persons and people, private citizens. So if you want protection, you call the police via the portal and pay a certain amount of money, which I don't know how much, and then you get protection. So it gives us that sense that even Yahoo boys can go there and demand protection. And they pay the right kind of money, and they're protected. Can you just shed more light on this? Thank you.
Okay, what are you doing to eliminate cases of assault on women police? We are treating it like any other case of assault on any other woman, whether it is police or not police, whether it is the assault come from a serving officer or any other person. The nature of the case will be investigated, and the person will be disciplined according to our own standard in terms of police discipline, or if it is between police and other members of the public, the case can also be charged to court. I'm sure you are talking about the woman inspector case maybe, which we are looking into it, and for now, we've not yet concluded investigation, but from the small briefing I had, it's like a case of two fighting in the sense that she also attacked the man and jacked him by his collar, and so the man also reacted. So it is a case of two fight, but between two serving police officers, and there are procedures of looking into it, more especially between a junior officer and a senior officer and so forth. But generally, the case of assault is a crime against human or against person. Unless the person forgives, if it is established that you have assaulted another person, it is a crime for which anybody can be punished. Umar, you said, what are we doing to engage the general public in assisting police in intelligence or giving information to the police? I think that has been an age-long complaint of members of the public. And because of this, a lot of efforts have been made that you don't even need to come with contact with the police to give information. There are a lot of means and ways of passing information through, because of maybe with the aids of technology. The members, all those departments that I have mentioned have contacts that you can report cases to. Our intelligence branch, our public response departments and all, they all have means of you getting across to us by passing the information which will be tested and looked into. So, we also have our informants that are also protected and also rewarded. A lot of efforts are being made, like I told you, the public relations courses that we are doing to entrench in our officers, particularly those in the public relations department and so. Bridging the gap between the trust gap has been an issue, and we are embarking on it almost in all our outings. So that, I think, will mitigate. It has even mitigated the fear you have expressed now. Tony, you said threatening to boycott election by police officers. Well, I think, to the best of my knowledge, I have read that one, like you have read like also you have read in the social media. But there is nothing like that within the force. But we are assuring you that the grievances are genuine. We have received new package in our welfare, and there are areas that needed to be paid. And we are talking to our officers that these areas will be paid. We are making effort to get them paid. That is not your business. Attacks on campaign, you also talk about. I should look at the issue of attack on campaigns. Attack on campaign is like any other crime. It can be detected, it can remain undetected. Like I told you, it is an issue that everybody requires playing the game by the rules. Where we have issues, arrests can be made, and those who are involved can also be charged to court. You particularly mentioned, I think that was not, no, it was Harry Online News talk about Electoral Act. We know our powers and duties in the Electoral Act, and we continue educating our personnel as to how we can effectively use those powers to checkmate and ensure that the electioneering period goes and metamorphoses to free and credible election. We have told you earlier, or I've told you earlier, that we are educating our officers to their roles, and policing election is not an easy thing. Sometimes what the Electoral Act is saying, how you will, for instance, police the election, there is nowhere they say you can carry gun and stick and go and regulate maybe voting process. But at the same time, you have to also arm some people and give them whatever leather for them to checkmate those who are even saying the election will not even take place. So in that way, you even have to divide your personnel into two components. Those who will regulate the conduct of persons who wants to exercise their franchise, and those who are saying that even election is not going to take place. For instance, the case in the southeast, for instance, where IPOB and ECM people are saying there is no election in our area. This one, they are not even saying anything about elections. They don't even want. So you need to checkmate that. And that one, you cannot even checkmate it by asking them to go into line and be orderly and so forth. So you need two types of process of policing in that place. And this is what we are doing in almost many places. Many places. Our threat analysis or our threat assessment has given us the lead to see how you can police each area based on the threat analysis you have done to ensure that the election takes place. So our responsibility as given to us by the Constitution, given to us by the Electoral Act, we are applying them to see that we do that. But in terms of, you're also saying whether we can invite other agencies. Yes, in the election security, police is the lead agency, but every other security agency can be invited for such process. But I think it is not at the instance of campaign and rallies. For now, campaigns and are being policed, and once we have been informed, we try to see how we can provide maximum protection. What happened in Borno had happened, and the assessment of the of the state public relations officer might not be completely conclusive, as he reacted to what had happened very quickly. And I think we have a total team that will assess what had actually happened and the extent of what had happened based on various presentation that is coming out from members of the public, from the APC, from the PDP, from the police. So you need to have more information to come out with a clear picture of what had happened, and also put measures to prevent such occurrence in future outings of the parties. I know somebody was talking about Zamfara, Kaduna, and so forth. All of them have different issues. It has even happened in Lagos earlier than that. Earlier than now, it has also happened in Lagos, where that of APC is also reported to have been attacked and so forth. So I think while we are doing our own, there is a lot of education, there is a lot of reorientation, there is a lot of enlightenment that is also required by members of the public from all of us here. So that is that for, which one have I not answered? Gloria and the POSAP. Yeah, POSAP is, like you said, it is commercializing some aspect of the police duties. It has taken that aspect. The Special Protection Unit, the AIG is here, was created to provide protection for VIPs. And we feel people are abusing it, and also government is providing a lot of services very freely and with no cost. And that was why a presentation was made to government in conjunction with the Ministry of Police Affairs, the Ministry of Finance, and to look at if revenue generation process can also be put into use. But anybody that will be provided with that service must be assessed, must be checked and processed. That is not one of those you have mentioned before such protection is provided. It is a commercial outfit of the police, yes. Yeah, we check before, during, and even after providing. If you have any information that we have given any Yahoo boy any protection, we'll need to have it so that we can withdraw. Pardon? That the portal is the last thing. Before, even if you don't just apply in the portal and get the police. You put in an application and say who you are, what you are, and why you should even be protected, or where you wanted your organization to be protected, and so forth. So there is checks, but it may not be conclusive because of a lot of things. If you maybe you talk about database of persons in Nigeria, many of us here cannot be identified, even if something happened today for somebody and you want to know more about him. There is no database that you can go into. But you can only do that by checking, and although, if not because of this issue of NIMSI and other things have been provided, Nigerians don't have real data. The data are coming through investigation, through asking questions, and maybe if the person has not been involved in any criminal matter and all that.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll take that offline later on. We have about 4 questions online here. With your permission, Acting Chair, sir, we'll take the 4 questions online. Most of them are related to welfare. The first one says, a Nigerian police officer won a medal in the U.S. Open Championship in Judo. As a way of encouraging the officer and others, why was the reception not made public? That's one. The reception of the officer who won judo championship in the U.S. So it wasn't made public, but I think the person was rewarded. That's what he's asking here. Why was it not made public? He didn't mention the person's name.
How could he have been rewarded without making it public? We did it with that of the boxing kit, the lady. We did it in the conference with media and so forth.
Thank you for that clarification. Okay. Then this other question here says, as a fallout from the just concluded senior police officers retreat in Owerri, are there stipulated punishment for officers who become partisan during electioneering process? Also, in relation to that, it says, what is the force doing to curb partisanship among officers? Then also another question here that has to do with welfare too. What is the force doing to improve the welfare of police officers that are more importantly, how do we plan to alleviate the professional or elevate the professional conduct of officers on several occasions?
I don't understand that.
It said welfare of officers. What are you doing to improve the welfare of police officers? Basically,
he didn't hear it in my presentation.
The person joined online, so most likely the person didn't hear, so you might need to reiterate.
Even if I answer, he will not hear.
I'm sure the person is watching online now.
I think I'm okay. I didn't see any question there. Sorry for that.
Okay, thank you very much. I think. Do you want to take more questions? Or you think
if they are okay, I'm okay. If they want to, okay. Let me take one set.
1, 2 questions.
Or whatever, one set of questions.
Okay.
Like 4 again.
Dr. Anule, Mr. Onifade.
Jide, there's you?
Yes.
Okay, the two of you then we close.
Dr. Anule and Mr. Onifade, thank you.
Thank you. IG, my name is Dr. Anule Emmanuel. I write for AFP. Dr. Anule Emmanuel. I write for AFP World News Agency. Yes. So can I have an update on the recent security situation in Abuja after the different warnings by the diplomatic community, which the government tried to dismiss as only alarming? What is also the latest regarding arrest during this period of the security alert? And are some people arrested during this period in your custody? And if they are, what are you planning to do with them? Do you want to prosecute them, please? Thank you.
Okay.
I just said good morning. My name is Jide Onifade. I work for the Nigerian Television Authority. We've talked of welfare of officers, sir. My own concern is about the junior officers, because you still see some of them appearing as if they are not well catered for.
They are not
So,
well
sir, catered for. So please, sir, what are we doing about this? Then again, allocation of funds to police stations across the country, especially at the local levels. When you go to some police stations, make reports, they tell you they don't have fuel in their vehicle, even put on candle instead of other generating set when there's no light. What are you doing concerning this? Increasing fund for operations at the local level. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Maybe IG would take one or two online questions that have also come so that they're taken together.
Okay, sir.
How do I have my mic on?
We have okay. It's still the same thing with welfare for junior police officers. So, what's the role of the force in kitting officers? And also, are the officers responsible for kitting themselves? If yes, is this a standard practice across the globe? Then finally, here it says, is there a way to include basic computer training to recruits in the recruits that are recruitment currently being undergone by the police?
Okay. Well, let me start with Dr. Ima. Update on security situation in Abuja. Nobody has dismissed it as alarm, just an alarm. Government has never dismissed it as an alarm, but we only said it was blown or made in such a way that our people became apprehensive to the situation or to the way it was done. The embassies have their own responsibility to their citizens, and they can make their advice. And the government has not dismissed what had happened because they have also informed us of what they foresee as threats. And we, on our part, also looked at what they put as threat as something that has been with us, and efforts are being made daily to see that those threats are mitigated or prevented from happening. And that is what has been happening in Abuja and all over the country. Sometimes these threats or these things happen, but nobody has dismissed it as mere alarm. And it is because of a lot of efforts has been made, like you said, to douse detention. And yeah, actually arrest has been made for those who we believe are planning to commit crime in whatever form. And we have done that arrest, and as at when due, those arrested will be charged to court by any of the services that have them. No, that is not. That's not for your consumption. Jide, you said junior officers. Well, you see, the issue of welfare in any service or in any appointment that one takes, there are duties and responsibilities that that service or that organ or that department you are serving must have laid down to you as your as your entitlements. In policing or in police duties or in police employment, beside your emolument, we are talking about barracks, barrack accommodation and so forth. And different policies had come and gone in terms of providing barrack accommodation to police officers. The issue is there, or the efforts to make the barracks there being provided, and what is also there is being kept, renovated, and so forth is there. But you have to work with what you have as resources, as a supervising officer. It is what is, if you have what you have cannot entirely renovate or rebuild more, then you have to take another means. The police officers are also government workers. They take salary, and there are instances where if government cannot provide them with barrack accommodation, they are also given what we call the rent subsidy, which is also the same in the public service. So where we couldn't provide barracks for our officers, rent subsidy is provided for them. And in terms of other things like kitting, which light question, junior officers are entitled to be kitted every year, and we are trying to do that, but sometimes because of paucity of funds, you may not provide what is actually the entitlement. And for instance, you may not ask somebody to wear a shirt and trouser, cap and shoe just for 1 year, one set. So I think it is also good officers supplement it even by themselves without even being told. We try to provide, on my coming, I think we have done twice, and the last set of kitting to be provided for those who are entitled to be kitted. I have just ordered what we have in the store to be given out. What we do is to rationalize it now. If we cannot provide everybody at once, we give it to some commands or formations, and the next set we give it to other commands. And in that way, we are providing what is entitled to them. Allocation of funds to police stations and divisions. You see, the envelope budgeting is there. We send in a requirement, including what we could have given to the divisions and formations for as running cost. But it is not what you have budgeted or what you have requested that will be given to you. So whatever it is given to you is what we try to rationalize and send it out. So definitely what is given cannot provide the necessary impetus for a division not to cry that it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that. And in fact, let me say, for instance, maintenance of, let's say, patrol vehicles. What is allocated cannot actually do that, and cannot actually, you cannot even determine what is going to be given to you. What has been given to you by the beginning of the year can also take you through because of changes and so forth. For instance, you have 600 patrol vehicles. This year alone, between January and this, I flow in over 600 vehicles to the police in various commands and formations. But look at the issue of maybe lubricant and petrol. The prices are, okay, if you have, what we are buying, when I came in, we were buying diesel at 8 million for a truck. Today, you are talking about buying a truck of diesel with very much difference with what has been budgeted for. So certainly, your needs and requirements cannot be taken care of, or our needs and requirements cannot be taken care of by what we have budgeted. We have a lot of goodwill from government, from citizens, and that is what it has been keeping. And that's why I believe I always try to say that we are grateful to government and we are grateful to government, people generally. Security is the quantum you cannot say it in terms of Naira and Kobo. It is not what you have put in terms of Naira and Kobo that keeps security going. I think I've answered your question. Any other one? The basic computer training, we have changed our curriculum, trying to introduce all these things, driving, computer training, and so forth are part of our new curriculum training in the police colleges.
I think I need. It's on now? Okay. Well, thank you, IG Usman Alkali Baba, for this broad and very deep and wide presentation, and to also commend you for doing so much, to bring the police to the new age and build it in a way to, confront and take on challenges, many of them very new, unknown to the country as they arise. We commend you for having raised the morale in the police. It was down before. Also for raising public confidence in the police, which was also down at some point. So we thank you for this presentation and all of the facts that you have presented. May I also please request that his wish that those numbers he gave, the presentation will be shared with you, but the number of acquisitions, whether they are drones or armored vehicles or guns, those numbers, he says, should be left out. Please respect his wish. But all other facts and content you can freely use. We also thank all of those who came along with him to support him on this mission. And this include AIG, FIB, Habusani. He's seated there in Mufti. He's not in uniform. AIG Special Protection Unit has been mentioned by AIG Akingbola. He's seated with us here. I'm not sure Chiroma Usman is here, CP. I don't think he has made it. He's not here. Yes, but ACP Lot Garba, that's him there. The PPRO, a very good friend, Muiwa. Well done for your energy and the good work you are doing. Yes, ASP Tana is also with us here. Inspector Sebastian Christian and PC Ademi, you are welcome. Thank you for supporting the IG. We also thank members of the Presidential Communications team for making this to happen. And some of them are seated on the high table here. The Senior Special Assistant to the President, General Duties, AIG Kayode Aderonti, is one of them. So, yes, and Tunji Ladna, SSA Policy in the office to the President in the office of the Chief of Staff. And of course, Ogi, who is responsible for this program. Thank you for making this happen again. Uche Zurumba, you have emceed this. Biodor ran away from us because the PAMSEC, he's a civil servant. Once the PAMSEC blows the whistle, they will all assemble. Deji, Moses, and all of you, thank you for the technical support. So we thank you, the journalists, for being here on time, and we are hoping that the stuff, dished out today by the IG will be judiciously and justifiably be used. We count on your support on this. Thank you for making this happen every week. Have a good day. We appreciate you for all that you are doing. Thank you very much, sir. So,
you do this thing so effortlessly.
No, right?